this old thing. This thing falls off the ceiling a couple times a trip. It doesn't really stay up real well. It doesn't really light very well either. So get rid of that in lieu of this. The XJ overhead console. So I'll be able to mount some switches up there, have a little bit of extra storage, which is always nice. There's nothing to the roofs of these Jeeps. So I gotta get this harness out and replace it with this harness. This harness has the same wide connector here, a very similar plug like this, but then it also has the additional stuff for all the electronics. Oops. All the electronics. So I've got to run this, follow it down here, sneak in between the dash here and all the connections. I remember taking this out of the junkyard. It was kind of a pain in the butt, but I'm hoping I can get these connectors out a little bit easier now that I removed this corner piece out of the dash, which actually came out pretty easy. So only time will tell. So this connection, the harness that comes from the top here, that powers the light, the overhead, and everything, it runs down the B-pillar up the front. The trick to this, pop all the connections on this and push down. Push down on the harness. You'll find one connection, hard to see, right here in the corner. Then there will be this connection. This is just kind of just floating around up there. And then I moved the glove box. And this looks like it's attached up on the underbody here somewhere. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. But it was floating around. I couldn't find this one no matter how much I looked up. So I guess the trick that worked for me is before you can disconnect them all, push down on the harness, and then you'll see some wires come down here. Just gently, pull them down gently, and it will literally expose all the connections you need. There's going to be 3 connections. Like I said, there's one here on the fuse panel. There's one floating around right above the fuse panel, and then this one was kind of hidden behind the glove box. I'm going to pull it up. What? All right. So the compass is working. I just want to make sure the lights turn off here. The footwell lights went off. There we go. All right. Okay. All right, so this sensor I've literally been sitting on in my truck since I published that original video. It's been sitting in my console. So now I get to get rid of it for a good reason. And I might need 2 hands for this. Yep, I need 2 hands. Alright, well that didn't work out so well. It's the right sensor, it fits in, but for whatever reason I guess I gotta get under there with a light and a pick or something and clean out the connection that was been on the Jeep. It's probably coated in dirt and crap, so almost time to call it quits for the day. So I gotta start working on how I'm gonna mount this thing. And it looks like, so with this new center console, it attaches to 2 screws up where the visors, right here, where the visors screw in. There's two mounting points, one here, that holds it up. And then there is a bracket that goes here. It looks like this has to get unbolted out. This looks like it's gonna suck. And then there's another bracket that goes in place up here, something to this effect. And then there's a cutout on the headliner that the back of this slides over, and the headliner holds it in place as well. So it's held in place by 3 different things. I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with this. This unscrews, but is it even worth? I think it will affect how it's mounted. Let's take a look. Yeah. Alright, so this has to come out. This is going to have to come out. So I got to figure out how that's up there. I don't want to ruin the roof or nothing, but start by the screws. There's one. There's 2. Okay. Oh, this might be coming off a little easier than I anticipated. I'm not pulling too hard. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Now that's what I'm talking about. Scrap metal for the bin. All right, now, let's see. I even think somebody said that the holes are actually already pre-drilled for this. I'm wondering if that's what this is. In which case, even better. I got the screws to. Oh yeah. I just gotta figure out which way it goes. Yeah. Way to go, Jeep. All right. So now once you have the harness and the bracket installed and the sensor, which isn't necessarily needed for this mod, installed, you can go ahead and put the headliner back up. I'll cover that's been covered in my previous video on how to recover your headliner. I'll post it up here in the corner. Just follow that to take it out and do it in reverse to put it back in. It's pretty basic. It's not too hard. The only complexity that might be added is if you're going from the normal light on the ceiling to the overhead console like this one. So overall, to kind of conclude this video, I just have a couple things I need to work on. The console here, there's a clip that was broken. It's a plastic piece here that has a C on it that goes over the bracket that goes on the cross member. The one that you screw in, one side of that is broken, so I'm going to take this down and make like another bracket somehow. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to probably use a piece of metal and make like a U-shaped bracket that goes from one side to the other, just so it hugs it nice and tight up there. So far I like it. Alright, so this is what you'll see when you get your overhead working. You have your directional, your temperature outside if you include the sensor. I was able to get mine on. Then you have your odometer, basically how many miles. I guess you can reset this. Yep, you can set it to miles or kilometers. Let me go back to go. Average MPG overall. Then your current MPG based on how you're driving at the moment. And this is supposed to, I believe, be miles till empty. So I'm at 84. And then you can set your estimated time of arrival, I guess. I don't know. I've never really used that. I have to do a little bit more research on that. But these are the functions. But this thing is really nice. It's got 2 lights up in the front, 2 lights in the back, a flip down sunglass or glass holder. And then this, I believe, is for a garage holder. You can Velcro or adhesive that up there. I might turn this into a switch panel. Who knows yet? But for the price I paid, I'm kind of glad I got it. I do like the temperature function as well as the directional and miles per gallon. If you have any questions or comments about this mod, leave those down below. If you like what you've seen, please consider subscribing, and thank you for watching.